Hey guys, what's up? Welcome everyone to another video, another movie review for Stallone. But it's not gonna be a movie review, it's gonna be a rant. And today I'm gonna talk and ranting on Judge Dredd. Came out 1995, directed by Danny Cannon, who also directed I Know What You Did Last Summer. And this movie has from beginning till end problems. It has a lot of problems. This movie was actually more darker, more greedy, but Stallone demanded to be humoristic. So definitely one of Stallone's worst performance he ever gave. One of his top 5 worst movies, no, but one of his worst performance ever. I don't hate Judge Dredd. I don't hate it. But I think it's one of the weakest movies that Stallone ever did. He gave one of the weakest performances I have seen. I always thought this movie was weak. I thought this movie borrows heavily stuff, copies heavily stuff from Demolition Man, this movie, and from Total Recall. And yeah, RoboCop did use a few stuff. They did borrow it. Stuff from the comic book Judge Dredd or 2000 AD. Yes, Judge Dredd is based on a British comic book from the 70s. I think was 2000 AD or AD 2000. I'm not a fan of it, but I think no, it's not correctly written here, but I'm just not really a fan of this film, even though it's rated R. I saw this movie back in 1997 on VHS tape. I rented it, and when I saw Sylvester Stallone with that helmet, I thought this movie is gonna be cool. It's gonna be another action film. But when I watched it, I was disappointed. One of the problems is also the villains. The villains were the big villains I have ever seen. Armand Sante as Rico, he was the big villain I have ever seen. The action scenes, in my opinion, are lacking in this film. They're disappointed. And Sylvester Stallone having a humoristic sidekick was another bomb, in my opinion. Also, Stallone working with one of the most big budget Hollywood actress, another garbage. He worked with Sandra Bullock in Demolition Man. He worked with Sharon Stone in The Specialist. So now he works with Diane Lane, another big budget bimbo actress, which I'm really tired, But this movie, the problem is that it's way too much comedy. He takes out helmet. In the comic book, he doesn't take helmet out, but he takes helmet. And I don't know what happened with his eyes. His eyes are always brown in this movie because I think they put too many eye lenses in it. Contact lenses. His contact lenses, he has like blue eyes. And every time I watch it, that completely annoys me. One of the reasons is also not his performance, but the shittiest screenplay. Like, I am Stallone. I mean, I was like, shut the fuck up, Stallone. I am Stallone. I'm Stallone. And now Alan Silvestri's stupid music score. I mean, this movie was from start to beginning completely bomb. I mean, people criticize it. And once again, no, I don't hate the film, but I don't like it. I think it's one of the weakest movies Stallone ever did. The weakest one he ever did. Heavily borrows weakest villain, weakest actress, terrible cast, terrible villains. Except the opening scene, which was, the opening scene was badass, but then there was two less villains, two less bad guys that Stallone could take it out. Humoristic sidekick does not work. The story does not work. I mean, I know people love this film. I know that people love this film. I don't. Sylvester Stallone, he already played. He played Cobra. He played the Strong Arm and the Law. He already played Judge, Jury, and the Executioner. He played already a renegade cop in the 21st century, and that's Demolition Man, John Spartan. Sergeant John Spartan, he already played in it. The 21st most century dangerous cop, he already was there. Stallone already, he was John Spartan. He was a renegade cop. Send a maniac to catch a maniac. Bad aim, Blondie. You know, he already was. Be well, be fucked. He already was, you know. That character, he's judge, jury, executioner. It's called Demolition Man. Stallone already played the Demolition Man. Such a John Spartan. Wesley Snipes, such a badass villain. You know, Armand Asante was the biggest villain as Rico. You want chaos? I'm chaos. Oh, I forgot his other stupid lines, but you want chaos? I'm chaos. Oh my god. No, just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. You know, the lines, I am Dolo. Or Rob Schneider making fun of Stallone, you know. Oh, Dredd, like Sly goes and grabs his arm. Apologize. What? I never apologized. Oh my god. Oh my god. I am Dolo. Ridiculous. I mean, funny, ridiculous. I'm sorry, but the lines are ridiculous. You know, this guy, this rich boy, drives a car, and Judge Hershey, played by the actress, in the lane, she goes, and because he's driving with because his license, you know, his license isn't anymore, it expired, and Stallone goes and blows his car. I was, what the fuck? Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god, Judge Dredd is definitely one of the worst movies ever. There's also, I think there's a reboot out there, or is a remake. It's called Dredd 2012 with Karl Urban. That movie was much better. I had my collection. That movie is a badass. Why I do have this film? Yeah, for Sylvester Stallone collection. That's one of the reasons I do have. Special edition IPC Media Film Collection. Sylvester Stallone never heard of the character until he suffered the role. But I think that Stallone hated the film. Danny Cannon was very disappointed. He said that he's never gonna play with such a big budget actor, because the movie was more dark and grittier than than it is. You know, it kind of has way too much dystopian scenes, and it's just forgettable flick, in my opinion. Yes, people liked it. I know. People liked it. I'm not a fan of Judge Dredd, you know. I'm not a fan of this film. It's just, this film just doesn't work, you know. It just doesn't work. I mean, Judge Dredd just doesn't work. The costume, I don't mind. I don't mind the costume. The costume or his weapon, I don't mind, you know. Signal flare, rapid fire, you know, grenade, rapid fire. I don't mind his gun, you know, when he says the lines, you know, double whammy. I don't mind that, you know. I knew it. But what does not work is like, it's just, I don't get this film. It's in dystopian, so this movie is set in dystopian, you already have. So their judge, jury, and Rob Schneider shows up, you know, as Fergie. By the way, from the singer Fergie, I don't know why the fuck his name is Fergie. He shows up, and when he's supposed to leave in the Mega City One in the building, there's his apartment's been taken over by hooligans. James Remar is one of them, and there's a block war. They start fighting each other, and Judge Hershey, played by Diane Lane, that's Judge Hershey, and her partner, rookie partner, they show up on the scene, and because they've been now fired, they call backup, and Judge Dredd shows up. You know, he goes and shows up. Judge Dredd shows up, and he's like, I am Dolo, drop your weapons. I mean, he acts like Robocop. He thinks he's Robocop. I'd rather watch Robocop with Paul Verhoeven. This movie is terrible. You know, It's terrible. So he goes to Judge Hershey. They fire, blah blah blah. What are you doing there? They go in the block, and Judge Dredd goes, kills all the bad guys. The rookie gets killed, and yeah, he gets killed because he made a mistake. I love when Stallone, says, for killing a judge, want to get life sentence, and he goes, shoots in the head and says, "Death." I was like laughing my ass. Death. Oh my god. Stallone's terrible performance. One of his worst. This movie lacks the story. So now we found out that Judge Dredd, which I don't think there's actually in comic book, has a brother, Rico, played by Armand Assante, and he looks like Stallone. And Armand Assante, just like in Demolition Man, he escapes. He just like I said, this movie still stands for Demolition Man. In Demolition Man, Simon Phoenix knows that he's actually handcuffed, this chair, and he knows that coat, he knows the code for the chains. He gets open and gets killed. He kills Warden's. He goes and kills Warden Smithers. By taking his eye out. In this movie, Armand Assante, he gets help. He gets like a gun, and he shoots this guy Warden, in the neck, in which the guy's changes. The guy's voice changes, and the computer, the Terminator computer, goes and shoots him to pieces, and he then grabs the gun and kills 2 guards and escapes. And then he goes by that mechanical robot, and he uses the judge weapons, and he finds out that guy, I think was Jürgen Prochnow from Beverly Hills Cop 2, who plays a bad guy, and he wants he wants a new order, and he wants to rule new order, and so now he needs to get rid of Judge Dredd. So Rico, who has a score to settle with Judge Dredd, he goes he goes in Dredd's helmet and Dredd's suit, actually Dredd's uniform. He goes and shoots the superior judges, and now Judge Dredd gets framed for the murder. I mean, we already saw that. Sylvester Stallone played Ray Tango, and he was already framed for a murder in Tango and Cash. He was framed in Demolition Man as John Spartan for killing 30 people, 30 hostages who are passengers. This is now what, the third time he was a cop, and he was now framed again for a murder. So he goes to the court and says, "No, I'm the law," and he gets to the court. He gets disgraced. He gets found guilty for the murder. He gets thrown in the ship with Fergie, which he found Fergie, and because he was innocent, he goes and he throws in the jail once again. He barely came out from jail, and he gets once again back. And those Hannibals, they see this flying saucer ship, and they blow the ship to pieces, and everyone of the passengers dies except the pilot survives. But when those soldiers, are looking, they found the pilot, and their leader says, "No, don't do it." Says no one survived, so they kill him off. But Judge Dredd and Fergie, they've been now taking the desert, and they're like 3-4 cannibals. They're like they're like 3-4 Hannibals. And there's the elder judge who walks the desert, and Sylvester Stallone, he gets captured. But I thought those Hannibals, those poor eating people family, were the weakest villains ever. Especially the guy who had an iron skull. I thought they were weak. And Sylvester Stallone goes, saves himself, kills the bad guys, and of course this guy, his friend, shows up, saves Dredd life, but gets stabbed by this guy, this mechanical guy. And Stallone uses that wire, and he goes like this, and he fries him. It's just stupid, you know. Then he finds out that he has a brother, that they were in academy, and it's Rico, you know. And Stallone goes, "That Rico!" I was like laughing my ass off. Oh my god, this movie was bad from the beginning. So now they had to go back to Mega City. They go to this tunnel. And I read that Sylvester Stallone got the protection, but they did not give Rob Schneider the protection, which he almost got fried for real. And yeah, and that was actually is. They actually go to the city, and Stallone's now dressed as Dredd in the uniform. And meantime, now judges have been murdered on the street. Judge Hershey tries to find out what's going on. And blah, I'm done with it. So Dredd and Fergie escape with the flying ship, looks like Star Wars. They escape with that motorcycle from Star Wars. They escape, and he's like all bitching about. Fergie's like bitching about. It's terrible having a humoristic sidekick, you know. And by the end, we find out that now Rico wants to have an army, so he's building a clone that's gonna be like his children. There are gonna be new judges, so he kills judges, and he wants to rule now Mega City 1, just like Simon Phoenix did in Demolition Man, which he was actually awakened from cryo prison. Those criminals. There's gonna be a chaos on San Angeles. In this movie, Rico wanted to build an army, just like Simon Phoenix, just in a different way, you know, by making clones. And Sylvester Stallone shows up, you know, with Judge Hershey helping him out. And Fergie, this mechanical robot, you know, tries to kill Fergie, but actually Stallone, but Fergie jumps, fucks him up, you know. I don't know why the fuck he goes and fucks him up. And and another thing that I had problem was when Judge Hershey, played by Diane Lane, and Elsa by Joanne Allen with Rico, you know, because she was working. I hate that bitch. You know, there's a fight scene in which Judge Hershey goes and punches him, but we already had a fight scene between two females, and that was in Total Recall. I thought it completely copied. I thought this movie copies Total Recall, and it copies Demolition Man. It borrows heavily elements from Demolition Man and copies. It's like a remake of Demolition Man and Total Recall. That's how I felt. And Stallone goes, fights Rico. He shows him out. He shows him out, and that's it. That's the great death for Rico. I'm really disappointed. This movie really lacks. The action lacks. The action is terrible. The villains are terrible. Oh yeah, so Joanne Chen shows up and tries to shoot Stallone, but Hershey goes and shoots her. So now New Order is restored, and he's back, Judge, and Diane Lane is like she was expecting more, and he says goodbye, and he goes with the motorcycle. The movie ends, and Fergie goes, "Oh hey Dredd, let's go to the hospital." This movie fucking sucks. This movie to me fucking sucks. It lacks, you know. It completely lacks. I don't care about special effects. The opening scene was a badass. I like the opening scene in which Stallone, you know, he fires on the wall, jumps, kills the bad guys. He says, he uses the gun and says, how he said it, rapid fire. He goes and shoots all the bad guys. That scene was a badass. That's the only good scene. But the villains were terrible. The story was terrible. It lacks the story. This movie made, the budget for this movie was $90 million, made only $170 million, and it was filmed in London, but it was terrible. I thought that Stallone hated it. Danny Cannon hated this film. The music score by Alan Silvestri was god awful. I don't care. The future in this movie, the dystopian future, is terrible. I would rather watch Blade Runner. I would rather watch the first Alien, Blade Runner, the Star Wars, A New Hope, and Empire Strikes Back. I'd rather watch Demolition Man, Total Recall. I'd rather watch those movies than Judge Dredd. In a dark and crime-infested future, one man will become judge, jury, and executioner. But Sylvester Stallone was already judge, jury, and executioner. And that's called, in my opinion, that's called Demolition Man. Yeah, that's called Demolition Man. Send a maniac to catch a maniac. Bad name, Blondie. You'll be sorry for a few seconds. Be fucked. Be well. Be fucked. Someone put me back in the fridge. You know, in Demolition Man, humor and comedy work, the satire work. And this movie does not work. And Rob Schneider killed it. I mean, people were complaining to Rob Schneider's acting performance because it was terrible. It was his worst performance because, like I said, having a humoristic sidekick does not work. This movie was made with the wrong reasons. It just doesn't work. So what? It's rated there, you know. So what? It's judged. I would rather watch Dredd 2012. I would rather watch Cobra. I would rather watch Demolition Man. You know, that's how we do. If you want to watch a cop, visit the 80s film, Cobra, in which Stallone did. Watch this film, Demolition Man. Or watch Tango and Cash, much better film. But Judge Dredd, I don't have much to say on it. The only good scene, the only thing that I like was the open scene, the block war. That's the only thing scene. If the movie would focus more on a block war, that would be better. Just like was in Dredd 2012. I enjoyed that movie. That movie kicks the living shit out of Judge Dredd. But I know people liked it. I don't like the film. I don't hate it, but I don't like it either. You know, I don't mind the helmet. I don't mind his costume. But in comic books, Judge Dredd does not take his helmet off. In this movie, Stallone takes his helmet off, maybe so that we know that it's him. I mean, Karl Urban was much better as Judge Dredd in 2012. I'd rather watch that movie. That movie, in my opinion, kicks Judge Dredd to pieces, you know. Yeah, I don't have much to say except that it's a time waster. It's one of the weakest movies Stallone did. Yeah, I said it, the weakest one, and a time waster. A lame, boring time waster. Just a time waster. It just doesn't... That's my rant on Judge Dredd 1995, directed by Danny Cannon. I don't give a fuck who wrote it. The screenplay, it was terrible. Danny Cannon claims that Stallone demanded that the script should be changed into more comedy because the original was actually more darker. I would see more darker, less comedic, without Rob Schneider, less comedic. And yeah, Rob Schneider had one scene in Demolition Man. Thank God he was cut out, but this movie, he was full of this movie. You know. My God, this scene was terrible. Stallone's terrible performance, like, I am the law, or Arman said, you want chaos, I am chaos. I don't know the rest of his lines, you know. You want the law, I'm the law. You want chaos, I'm chaos. Oh my God, it was just terrible. I am the law. I knew it. You say that. How you found guilty? How you find yourself not guilty? I knew it. You say that. Oh my God, I would rather watch Dredd 2012. Anyway, that's my rant for now on Judge Dredd. Take care and thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time. I'm out. Peace.